Amen. Now you, when you were on the foreign field, had a near-death experience. Can you tell us about the experience and then maybe share some of the lessons the Lord taught you through that?
Mm-hmm. I was in Nepal in the fall of 2014, and my friend Bob McQuarrie was with me, and we ate some bad food, and we got a serious case of food poisoning. We came home, and I was sick for 3 weeks. Brother Bob was in the hospital twice with it. And so my stamina, my resistance, you can imagine after being sick for 3 weeks how you feel. But the next trip I needed to make was to Uganda, and I really believed I should go. I had 4 or 5 people going with me. We were going to teach a class on Bible translation philosophy, and I really felt I should go. So I literally got up off the couch from my sick bed, you would call it, and went and got on the plane to go to Uganda. And the Lord was amazingly gracious. When I landed in Uganda, I felt fine. I was sick all the way over there, but I felt fine when I got there. The whole time I was there, everything was fine. And I got 1 mosquito bite while I was there, and I came home. Fortunately, I made it back home. And I started feeling sick, and I thought, I'm just weak. You know, my system was depleted, but it kept getting progressively worse. So about 8 days, I think, after I got home, my wife got out of bed one morning. I had not slept all night. This was the day before Thanksgiving, the day of Thanksgiving, the day of Thanksgiving. Thursday night, I didn't sleep a wink. My wife got up Friday morning, and I came in the living room, and she said, "Do you think this might be malaria?" And my eyes probably got about that big around, and I said, "We need to go to the hospital right now." So we got in the vehicle and went to the hospital, and when they checked me into the emergency room, my blood pressure was 50/33.
Wow.
And I was on my way out. So I was in cardiac ICU for 5 days, and I don't remember most of that. I kept coming to in and out, and I said some funny things to the nurses because of the medication I was on. I won't go into all that.
I've been there, yeah. I know about that.
But the Lord delivered us from that. My heart stopped on Saturday afternoon, and the doctor took me off the medicine because they're even talking about this in the news now. Some of the medicine for this coronavirus can have a negative effect on your heart if you have heart trouble. So that's what it was doing to me. And people started praying. Unknown to us, my sister put it on Facebook, and it just went crazy. And I still meet people who say, "I prayed for you when you had malaria." And I don't even know who these people are, you know, but Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning sometime after churches had gathered and requested prayer for us, and I know especially several churches had a specific time of prayer for us.
Amen.
The Lord started turning it around, and the doctor put me back on a lower dose of the medicine, and I started responding to it, and my wife was seriously thinking about how she was going to live without her husband, you know,
Wow.
what life was going to look like. And when I came out of all that, there were 3 big lessons I took away from it. The first one was recognizing the value of people's prayers. When you can't pray for yourself, other people can take you to the throne of God, and that meant so much to me.
Amen.
I didn't even know what was happening. I couldn't pray and ask God for help, but people did on my behalf, and there's no way to put a value on that. The other lesson, big takeaway, was God didn't let me die, so He must still have something for me to do.
Yeah. Amen.
And I want God to get His money's worth. You know, He left me here. I want Him to get what He wants to get out of me. So I want to stay faithful to the task. I was in a conference a few days ago, or back in January in Texas, and they called up 5 preachers and honored them by giving them a plaque recognizing their faithfulness in ministry for over 50 years. And I had 2 thoughts while I was sitting there watching those men. My first thought was, I hope when I get to that age, people will still be able to say, he's been faithful.
Yeah.
You know, I want to still be there serving the Lord. And the second thought I had was, I'm glad I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
I got some more living in ministry I want to do, but one of the unique perspectives I put on this when it was all over was, a dear friend of mine had passed away just a few months prior. He went to India with me on one of our trips, and about 3 months later, he dropped in the gym while he was exercising, never regained consciousness, had a heart attack, never regained consciousness, and he died. People everywhere were praying for him. His name was Mark. And it really struck me that people prayed for Mark and he went to heaven. And people prayed for me and I'm here. So number one, God must have a work for me to do, and I want to do that work. And then I told my wife one day, I said, my friend Mark is in heaven, and he says, no, I'm down here thinking, wow, I almost died. And my friend Mark is in heaven thinking, wow, I almost lived. You know?
Yeah.
So perspective, right?
If you just benefited from that content, I'd like you to do two things. Our church media team regularly publishes additional Christ-centered content. So the first thing I'd like you to do is subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss a single video. And the second thing I'd like you to do is share this video with others so that they also can benefit from Christ-centered content. All right? So these two things, subscribe and share. And thank you.